Hey, what's up you guys? It's me, Psychometry and Natasha, and I'm here to bring you guys another video. If you're new to my channel, hello and welcome. Please feel free to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any of my free spiritual content. So today's video, I wanted to talk specifically about intuitive gifts. It's my passion. I love teaching about it with my students and whatnot, and I thought I should make like a general video about the Clair Senses so I can use this video as a reference point for people when they're starting their own psychic development journey and whatnot. So I want to talk about this because when you are focusing on psychic development, the Clair Senses are your intuitive senses. That's basically what you're building on as a practice moving forward when you are trying to build and develop and evolve your spiritual gifts. So I thought this would be perfect. I feel like I'm attracting so many unawakened intuitives that I was like, it's time to start like really getting into like the teaching mode. So let's get into the meat and the potatoes and let's talk about what the Clair Senses are. So yes, just as we have physical senses, you know, see, hear, taste, smell, all that, you know, we also have the counterparts in the intuitive sense. We can have intuitive taste and smell and all this stuff, and I felt that it's important for people to be aware of this as they're moving forward, because again, if you want to, you know, develop your intuitive gifts, your psychic gifts, you have to develop your intuitive senses for certain. There's no going around it, because basically when you are receiving, like everyone receives information differently, and it's important to be aware of how you receive energy and build on your strengths, because everyone interprets it differently. Like I'm a psychic medium and intuitive empath, an astral traveler. Like energy comes to me in so many different like funnels that then it translates within this, and then I interpret that for my clients or my students. So let's get into the specifics. So Clair is a word describing a type of clear sensitivity corresponding to your physical and intuitive senses. So Clair begins the words with our intuitive abilities. So if I say like clairvoyance, that's clear intuitive sight or vision, you know. So I'm going to break it down like that with each of the Clair senses individually. So the first Clair sense we're going to talk about is about claircognizance. Now, claircognizance is about clear intuitive knowledge. This is when a person has knowledge about something without any explanation given to them, without any reason. And this ability also includes PREGNITION and RETROCOGNITION, which is the knowledge of the future as well as knowledge of the past. So there is no restrictions as to this ability that may be known with clear intuitive knowledge. So for me, clear intuitive knowledge, that's when you just know it in your bones. Like you just get, let me give an example. Clear intuitive knowledge is like, let's say I just pick up on an energy and all of a sudden from like this download, I'll just suddenly know something. And I'm like, I'm not certain how, but I feel this and I can't reject it. Like for newbies, this may come as like a new idea in your mind. Like you're like, why did this suddenly pop up in my head? I'm not thinking about that. Well, that could be you getting a download, or maybe a spirit guide's trying to come to you and give you a message, an intuitive message, and then you're receiving it as a random thought. And you're like, oh, what's that? You know, so that's an example of claircognizance. There's many, again, you can learn stuff that's presently happening, stuff from past lives, stuff about your future. There's no like boundary with this. Like, but usually people with claircognizance, they're very, very intuitive. It is an advanced, I would say an advanced gift, but everyone has the capability of developing any and all of their Clair senses. Some people may have naturally be receptive or open to certain ones, but everyone has the capability to develop their intuitive senses. So the next ability I want to talk about is about, again, clairvoyance. So clairvoyance is clear intuitive vision. This is the ability to, again, to see objects, energies, spirits, you know, things of that sort without, you know, your physical eyes. You're using your mind's eye or your third eye to see this. Yeah, so clairvoyance, you always hear, you know, like, oh, I'm clairvoyant. I can see your aura. I can see visions. There are definitely stages to clairvoyance. When I first started developing my clairvoyance, I started getting like deja vu dreams, you know, dreams that would they would happen, you know, like I would dream it and then it would happen in real life and I'd be like, oh my gosh, it happened, like what's going on? And then eventually as I got older, I would have like daydreams, or like I would have those dreams while I was like asleep. But I didn't know at the time it was actually visions. And then eventually I developed it to a point to where I could think about something and will a vision happen, and that's where I am now. So, you know, there's definitely stages to clairvoyance, or stages to, you know, to your clair senses. It will definitely develop over time. Just the more you engage with that certain sense, the more you know, use it, of course, the more stronger it's going to get. So the next ability we're going to talk about is clairaudience. So clairaudience is literally means clear intuitive sound or hearing or audio. So this is the ability, you know, to perceive sounds or audio words, extrasensory noise from some other source. You know, this could be, you know, this could be like a specific message broadcasting from like a different realm. This could be a specific spirit or an entity trying to connect with you, or you may hear mystical music. There's so many different sounds and things you can perceive with clairaudience. As a psychic medium, I do hear things when I'm connecting with spirits or when I'm connecting with energies. Sometimes I'll hear thoughts of other people. If it's like during a psychic reading, then I can also feel their intention. So then I'll speak that to my clients. So there's different ways you could definitely utilize clairaudience, but it's basically when you can hear things intuitively, and that's when they come to you. So usually, you know, clairaudience is dealing with the eardrums, but it's very closely connected to the third eye because they're like right there. It's like a perfect triangle. So when you're a medium, you're basically engaging with both, and you're utilizing that huge triangle right here. Now, the next one we're going to talk about is clairsentience. So clairsentience is clear intuitive knowing by feeling, and this is different than the clear intuitive knowing. So I'm going to break it down. So clairsentience, this is referred to as a person's ability that acquires knowledge by a feeling. So a person who feels the vibration of other people, animals, places, you know, this is clairsentience. Now, there are obviously many different degrees to this. You know, some people could be more sensitive, and there's different kinds and stuff like that. But basically, clairsentience is, you know, it's different because this is a feeling you get, an intuitive feeling you get from within your own body. So you may hear people say, oh, I got a gut feeling. That's what they're talking about, clairsentience. So, you know, people be like, oh, I just feel that this is wrong, or, you know, I got a bad vibe. That's dealing with the ability of clairsentience. And usually clairsentience, that is, you know, that's when, okay, how do I say this? Clairsentience is definitely there with empaths. Like if you know you're an empath, you are so, like, you've already developed your clairsentience. That's like your entire being as an empath. So it is hard, you know, but there's also different degrees to this. You know, some people, they'll specifically feel things from just like, they'll feel the physical symptoms of other people. Some people will feel, you know, just animals. They'll feel the residual energy within a home. There's so many different variables, but clairsentience is when you're getting gut feelings, or you're like, oh, I feel it in my bones. Like, that's clairsentience is when you're getting that intuitive, like, hunch within yourself, because that's basically your spirit connecting with you, your higher self, your soul. So, so next we're going to talk about is clairsalience. Now, this is a weird one. This is clear intuitive smell. So yes, there's a purpose for this gift, weird as it is. Clair Senses, you know, and it involves smelling, you know, some type of fragrance or odor of some kind, and that's when you're picking it up. You know, it could be from a person, a specific place or time era, maybe an animal, but it's not in your physical surroundings. You're like, why am I smelling this cologne, but I'm completely alone here in the attic? You know, that's an example of this gift. So these odors are perceived without the use of your physical nose. You're just experiencing it because it's an intuitive smell. So sometimes there are people, they'll touch an object or they'll be in a specific place and they'll be picking up maybe on a situation or something that happened in the past, and it's just that residual energy lingering about. Or maybe you're just intuitive and you smell like a fragrance and it's actually a spirit coming near you because they're trying to connect with you. There's so many different instances to this, but there is purposes for every clear intuitive sense, even the smell. Okay, next we're going to talk about is psychometry. This can also be called clairtendency. It's basically when you have clear intuitive knowledge by touching something. This is literally as it sounds. You're physically touching an object or something, and you're acquiring psychic knowledge about it from touching said thing. So I like to do this sometimes when I'm doing house readings for my clients. I'll physically walk around the house, feel the energy of the room, and maybe touch like the walls or a bed or something, you know, just to kind of read what may have happened there or whatever. So it's very great for me. I would say if you are a beginner getting into psychic development, I would say that, you know, practicing this technique of psychometry is very, very useful, because then you're physically choosing to connect to something, and the more you engage with it, the easier it's going to become. So you can, like, you know, pick up a crystal maybe and see what you pick up on, or, you know, go to the, you know, pick up grandma's jewelry. You know, there's so many different instances. Like, this is a fun way you can go about it, is using touch to see what you can pick up on. Just, of course, be careful if you're, you know, like, don't be stupid about it. Don't go to, like, a random thrift store, flea market, and open yourself up to something, like, crazy. So just keep that in mind. The next one is clairtaction. So this is intuitive touch, and this is literally, this is the ability to sense being touched by a different spiritual entity, or you feel an entity touching you, and you can sense it and feel it and recognize it, and also receive information that way. That happens to me when it comes to channeling, I would say. Like, if I want to connect with a spirit, they may and if I choose that I want to connect, then we'll, like, maybe touch hands or something, and then I'll receive information that way. It depends on the situation, but clairtaction's dealing with, you know that you're being touched by something else, and you're choosing to connect and receive. So that's a little bit more of a advanced, I would say, like, you know, compared to the other ones. It's not as simple, but I would definitely say when you're practicing that type of gift, to definitely do some form of protection. You know, like, the deeper you get into stuff, just, you want to protect your energy, so just keep that in mind. We have two more abilities to go. So the next one is Gustans. Now, this is literally clear intuitive taste. And clear intuitive taste literally involves being able to taste something without physically, like, putting it in your mouth or, you know, eating it. Some people, you know, like, sometimes I'll connect with a person and all of a sudden I'm like, I feel like I'm tasting pumpkin pie. I don't know why. And they're like, oh my gosh, my uncle loved bacon pumpkin pie or whatever, you know. And I'm like, oh, well, that must be why I'm tasting. Like, you know, spirits, or sometimes we receive messages also by different senses. Sometimes it's taste. Usually when I taste something from messages, it's usually like from human spirits, like deceased loved ones, like ancestors. That's usually just how it is for me. I don't really get intuitive taste a lot when I go up to, like, the higher dimensional spirits, like angels and stuff. I don't really taste stuff with them. Usually it's dealing with like deceased loved ones and ancestors, but there's different, you know, there's more than one way to use a gift. So the last gift we're going to talk about is empathy, Clair empathy, and that's literally clear intuitive feeling of emotion. But there are different types of empaths too. So Clair empathy is literally having the ability to, you know people and their energies in a general sense, because there's different type of empaths. So there's more deeper you can go into this, but literally it's just when you are so sensitive to receiving energy, you're able to pick up on maybe someone's mental state or emotional state. Maybe you can feel their physical symptoms. Maybe, like there's so many different ways, but if you have Clair empathy, that's just the next level of clairsentience, in my personal opinion. I've been developing my gifts since I was a young child. Since I was 7 years old, so it's been a journey, but yeah, but I hope I hope talking about these gifts helps you guys develop your own. Definitely feel free to leave some comments. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have about the Clair senses or developing them. I'll also try to leave some links and personal information, stuff like that you guys can read for your own research. Feel free to write these notes down and everything in your own personal grimoires. I'm always encouraging of other people to develop their own gifts and become more aware of themselves. So I'm definitely happy to be part of your journey. So thank you for watching this video, and blessed be.